Hi, you all right? Been a long time since I've done this. I almost couldn't remember what to do, so I thought I'd do it about 1 o'clock when there's not many people around, so I can cock it up. If I do, afternoon to everybody. Just a couple of people in the chat. Rory Grumish from Australia. It was posted earlier, but we weren't live. Eugene just said good afternoon, Lee and Jane. It's not Lee and Jane though; it's just Lee this afternoon. So, we're going to be talking about the retained list that you've probably all seen, and also what happened last night at the fans' structured dialogue meeting. If you were there, I'd love to know how it went. I've read on A View from the Tower, Ashley Knowles from Polton File Seaside as his quick little recap on it. Good afternoon, Steve. How are you? Good afternoon, Jay. How are you? And Ryan is here as a moderator. So if there's any knobbers in giving us abuse, just kick them off. Just kick them off. Right. So we're going to have a look at the retain list. Let's just have a little look here at who we have kept and who we haven't kept, and see what you think about it. Really, what you think. Let's go to my just 1 second while I bring it up on here for myself to remind me of who we're keeping. Keeping Keogh, obviously, that's pretty good. Yeah, so our retain list. We have taken contract options on Keshi Anderson, Ewan Bange, Josh Bowler, Brad Holmes, Richard Keogh, Stuart Moore, Jordan Thornley. Are you happy with that? Hello, Ian. How are you? Haven't seen you for a while. It's a long time since I've done this. Gaming Whale is here as well. Hello, Gaming Whale. How are you? Blackpool fan, I take it. Jay says season ticket prices. They're not out yet, but I think they have announced that they're going to be going up £10 for early bird taker up. Like we normally do the early bird thing. I don't know. It's £10 up. It's not a lot, but I don't know. Blackpool's not a wealthy place. You think they may be trying to encourage more people to come, maybe more people to buy season tickets and increase the gate. He's putting it up £10. It's not a lot, but it's still something, isn't it? Gaming Whale says it's good. Spoke to you at Preston away. Okay, all right. Were you sat with your son? Was it that one? I did speak to quite a few people at Preston away. It was a horrible day, that wasn't it? Indeed, it was just a horrible, horrible night. Adam Cooper reckons that Thornley and Bowler will be to sell on. Well, I would think that as well. I would think that as well. Can't see us really keeping Thornley. He's not really been one that has been a favourite, but he has played quite well. But we know other clubs want him, so probably that is the reason why he's been had his contract option exercised. Steve Huntley says, I really can't see us keeping hold of Bowler. Well, the writing doesn't look good, does it? On the writing on the wall, he's not played for weeks, has he? Which has been a disappointment, if I'm being honest. It's been a disappointment because it's kind of showed that we're not really quite as good without him. I was also going to chat as well because Critchley has talked about the plans for recruitment during the summer, saying we're not going to be recruiting as many as we have done in the past. And, it's all about he's been developing the squad and he thinks, we've got enough good players. I don't know. I don't know what you think about that. He's also said as well, quite controversially, that we scored more goals in the second half of the season than we did in the first. But, apart from the two anomalies, which were Reading beating them 4-1 and Birmingham City beating them 6-1, I don't think, I've said it time and time and time again on videos that we've just made goal scoring look like the hardest thing to do in the world. And other teams just come down and just bang a goal in, very little effort indeed. So I'm not convinced that with that free scoring and we don't need to improve something on our goal scoring. I think, lots of fans would, tell me quite often that Gary Medine is not quite the goal machine that he used to be. Jerry, unfortunately, one of my favourite players, but he just can't seem to buy a goal for love nor money. You've got Lavery, who, was looking like a world beater before he got injured, but has struggled really to get back, in the goal scoring way he was before he got injured. We've got Beasley, who came on, in a blaze of glory, got a couple of early goals, and then it really hasn't, since that game, hasn't really looked like scoring at all for me. He's looked, he just hasn't. So, Gaming Well says we do make scoring look hard. Yes, we do indeed. Ryan Dunbar said, yeah, I'd be surprised if Keshi and Bowler don't go. Do you think Keshi will go as well, do you? Well, that would be disappointing, wouldn't it? I mean, this is one of the things that Critch has said, that obviously they are more worried about clubs coming in to buy our players. And if they do, that they have got options. They are looking at different players. But is that a worry to you as well? Is that a worry that some of our players are going to be taken away? Looking at the ones that are leaving the club, can't say there's any surprises for me. Cameron Antwi, not really figured much. Ryan Grant, never, I haven't heard of him, or Johnny Johnson, or Matthew Liptrot, or Charlie Monks. Ethan Robson, obviously, he's just never really been popular, has he? He's never really featured much. Sky Sinclair was a disappointment. I was thinking Trevor's lad would really come through. And of course, Grant Ward, who unfortunately just seems to, have picked up some really bad injuries. And I'm not sure if they want to just, keep paying him. Although I did like him. I'm surprised Charlie Kirk has gone back to Charlton Athletic. I kind of thought we'd done a deal that we would have the option to purchase him in the summer, and I thought he was okay. I thought he was decent, and I thought he did well with corners and stuff. I don't think he was the best I've ever seen. And of course, we know Dujon Sterling has gone back to Chelsea, which I was going to discuss that as well, because I think Blackpool had a little bit of good fortune in the fact that we lost all our left backs and they had to switch Sterling over onto the left and put Gabriel on the right. And I thought it was just a very happy accident, because before that, Gabriel and Sterling were competing for that right back spot. And I think they're both great. And I think when Sterling was over on the left and Gabriel was on the right, I thought that was when we looked our best. And I thought we looked fantastic at that time. I thought we were going to make the playoffs at that time. We're looking really hard to beat. Gabriel brings that sort of attacking dimension, to the defense. Sterling was quick. They're both quick, chasing back. They were hard to beat as fullbacks, and Sterling getting injured and Gabriel getting injured, really, I think scuppered our chances of the playoffs, because I don't think we were quite the same team without those two in. And what are we going to do about a left back if Sterling's gone back? Because I think he was head and shoulders above any no disrespect to the other players that played left back, but he really was class. And he was a right back playing as a left back, but he just pace, speed, youth, everything about him, commitment. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was one of the best players at Bloomfield Road this season. I don't think we've got a chance of getting him. Whether we can get him back on loan again would be great, but yeah, we really missed him. Right, let's just go back in the comments. Lombardi says, Gaming Wales says, if we do sell Bowler, what would you want for him? Lombardi says you sell Bowler for around 5 million, invest in a new centre mid, probably Brannigan, and a new striker. Would you be happy with 5 million for Bowler? It's a figure that was bandied around before, wasn't it, in the January transfer window? I think that's what Fulham came in with, that kind of offer. I don't know. I mean, 5 million's peanuts nowadays, but I don't know. I think he's worth a lot more, but he didn't pull up any trees in the last few games that he played. Ryan Dunbar says Grant Ward is the only surprise for me, along with Robson, because as I say, if we kept Robson, we get money from him. Yeah, I actually like Grant Ward, but we haven't seen him. He hasn't played at all this season, has he? And it just seems to be an injury that they can't get right. So can't keep paying wages to somebody who's not playing. Robsy reckons we'll still sign Kirk. He's weird though, isn't it? Because I thought it was part of the deal that there was the option to buy him. So I'm surprised he's gone back. I think I would actually like to see him come in. Eugene McGee says, "Are you doing a keep, sell, and loan for the Blackpool squad in this summer transfer window?" Interesting. I don't know. It wasn't in the plans, but maybe. Adam Cooper says we haven't got enough good players to compete again next season. Medina, I'll show that. I'll put that on the screen. Wow, it's quite big, isn't it? Let's have a look. Medina not good enough. If we're only going to recruit small, we need to make sure it's the right players. Brannigan, we have to try our best. Well, we have been trying to get him, but we can't get him, can we? It was 200,000 was apparently the rumor that we were short on, which seemed to me a shame that we missed out for so little. I don't know much about him. I've not really seen him. I've only heard what people keep saying about Brannigan. I know I watched a couple of Cod's Vlogs videos, and when they were playing Oxford, he was raving about he was the best midfielder in that division. I'd be interested to know everyone's thoughts on Brannigan. Really, is he that good? Oxford haven't got in the playoffs, have they? So is he good enough for the Championship? Twine from Milton King Dons is a quality player, but can't see us signing him. He would probably go to somewhere a lot bigger than us. We need to get some real quality in this season, and we need a midfielder who has an attacking mind instead of our two defensive midfielders we have played all season. I agree with you on that. We definitely need an attacking midfielder. I'm sure of it. It's just one of those things. And also, we have missed that. The attacking quality of Gabriel. I actually thought that Bowler was a better player when Gabriel was on. I thought he fed him loads of good balls, and he was, they worked together well. And I also thought that we were looking better down the left as well when Dujon Sterling was in. He also brought the ball forward and gave CJ Hamilton better balls, and I think CJ Hamilton looked better when Sterling was behind him on the left. I don't know what you think about that, but let me know in the comments. All right, just go back in the comments. Sorry, they just clipped on a bit. Yeah, Gaming Whale says we did have a lot of injuries. Well, we did have a lot of injuries, didn't we? We had so many injuries, especially in defence, to centre halves, to, we've had to swap and change around a lot. First of all, we had no right backs because I remember when we played Millwall away, we had no blooming right backs, and we had to, we were playing a makeshift left back as a right back, and then we ended up losing all the left backs, and it's been a problem, hasn't it? Injuries are a problem. Maybe it's good news that the training ground is going to be announced soon, and maybe when we get new training facilities, we're not going to get as many injuries as we do seem to get, because we do seem to get a hell of a lot of injuries, don't we? Which is really scuppers us. Gaming Whale says even 5 million would allow us to get at least a decent player. Well, yes, it would. You would hope so. It would, as long as all the prices don't go up, because people know Blackpool got 5 million to spend. Kieran Glover says Dan Ballard's transfer listed. Would love to sign him. Gosh, yes, so would I. Absolutely loved him. Rob says that we're probably trying to get him for a lower fee. Usually these agreements are valid until July the 1st, so plenty of time yet. And that's Kirk. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, could be right. Ian Barron says Scott Brown to manage Fleetwood Town. I've not heard anything on that one, so it's news to me. Ryan Dunbar says, here's an idea. Dimmy was sold to Hibs last season, so why don't we repay the favour and take their left back off them? I don't know who their left back is, but is he any good? Who is he? Fill us in on that one, Ryan. I don't watch football too much. Apologise for that, but I don't. Gaming Wales says, we could do with a player that has the height and heading ability of Medine, but the pace of Lavery. Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad, was it? There would actually be a few combinations of players that you'd like to put together, isn't there? And if you think, who would you like to, to mold a player out of 2 or 3 different players, who would be any thoughts on that? Post in the comments below if you can think of a combination of players that would do well. If they were, instead of being 1 player, they would be 2. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yes, okay. Now I understand. 2 words, guys. Ellie Sims. He's been banging the goals for Hearts this season. Well, yes. God, we could do with him, but we couldn't get him last time, could we? So can we get him? Can we get? Doubt it very much, Ryan. Oh, it's Lewis Stevenson, apparently, is the fullback that Ryan is talking about. Don't know him, Ryan. I'll take your word on it. 66 people in the chat now. I was expecting there to be nobody. And really, I thought I'd give it a little bit of a practice go on a nice, easy 1 o'clock in the afternoon so I could cock up a bit if I can't remember what I'm doing. But 66, nice to have you all in here with us. And make sure you do like the video and, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. It does help. I'd like to see a few more. We're trying to catch Cod's vlogs, really. That's the thing. He's got about 8,000. We need a lot of subscribers to catch him, but one of these days I'm going to catch him. Steve Huntley says, I think whoever we end up with next season, they need to play to the last minute of every game. We were shite after the last international break. Yes, I agree with you. There's reasons for that. I've already said that, the injuries to both Dujon Sterling and Jordan Gabriel, I think, affected us. Bowler seems to maybe be going and they weren't playing him. That affected us. I thought the Peterborough game was absolutely shocking, if I'm being honest. Probably the worst. I just honestly, I still can't quite get over that Peterborough game. I don't know what the hell that was. It was just awful. And I know people, were talking to people after you saw it on the video. People were saying it's been a great season, and it has been a great season. But that was so disappointing. I was hoping at the time I was going to make a great video, which was going to be, Middlesbrough were playing Preston. They were going for the playoffs. I thought they'd win there, and I thought we'd smash Peterborough. And I just had this vision in my mind that the video was going to be a massive celebration about us finishing above Preston, and it just didn't work out that way. And I was really disappointed. I've got to say, and I haven't got half as many thousands of views on I thought I would have had if we had a finished above Preston. So it was disappointing for me. Eugene McGeever says, how many signings would Blackpool need in this summer transfer window? Well, it all depends. It all depends, Eugene, because, Critchley's already hinting at the fact that we're going to be losing some players. We've played well this season and clubs will be coming in for players. And if we do, that's going to affect it. But we've got rid of, a few places. Obviously, we're going to be getting a few loans in. I would reasonably be happy with probably about 3 or 4. I think we need to strengthen in midfield. I think we definitely need. I do think we definitely need a left back. If we don't get Sterling again, I think we could do with another good centre half, because Keogh, although I love him to bits, he's getting on a bit and he does get injured, unfortunately. And, he doesn't play all the games. Thornley has been good, but as people have said, we think he's been given a contract with a view to selling him. So I think we need another good centre half. I'm not convinced yet about the lad from Leeds. Casey, I didn't look so good at Peterborough, I've got to say. Rob says, yeah, you've just described Haaland there. City can loan him to us to adjust to England, surely. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad signing, was it? You think there's any chance of that one? That'd be brilliant, Rob. Let's just go back again in the comments because they're coming in thick and fast. Gaming Whale says, yes, we have the abilities across different players, whereas other teams seem to have these players who are good combinations. Yes, we do have, Critch has developed an amazing way of being able to bring players in to cover positions. And I like what he does. I think he's always looking to improve things. He's always looking to improve players. And I think we have improved on the whole. I think there's a lot of negativity at the moment because of the last 2 games of the season, which, to be honest, were a disappointment. And I think it's knocked Blackpool, fans a bit for that. The one thing I do want to discuss with you, though, again, I've mentioned this, Critch saying that we scored more goals in the second half of the season. And yes, there was for me, there was the 2 games where we scored, 4-1 against Reading and 6-1 against Birmingham. But apart from that, I don't think we would have scored more. Then how many goals did we score in the end? We scored 54 goals is what we got, and the below us have scored more. Bristol City scored 62. Even Reading scored 54, but like above us, we got Swansea 58, Preston 57, Coventry 60. They were moaning they couldn't score goals. They got 60. So I think our we definitely need to do something with scoring goals. We're not prolific. In my mind, we're not prolific. And Dunbar says if Everton go down, then there's every chance we get Sims. Are they going to go down though? Burnley have changed their manager at the end. I don't know. Luke Evans is here. Hi, Luke. Nice to have you on the chat. What do you think, Luke? Do you think that we are free scoring? We're goal scoring enough? Do you think we need to, do we need to make quite a lot of signings in the summer? Do you think we need lots of extra? Can we afford to? It's interesting. We're going to go on about the fans' structured dialogue. It seemed like it was absolutely fantastic. It was run by Steve Rowland, who did a great job of making sure all the questions were answered. The club didn't hide behind any of the answers. They were pretty straight talking. Had Simon Sadler on a video link, which was really good. And I think the people that went to that meeting have come out very positively. I will actually give you Ashley's thoughts on that as well. On A View from the Tower, he's posted this morning. That's Ashley Knowles of Polton File Seasiders. I'll just actually read what he said, and then we know what we're talking about. He said, "What an excellent, well-structured, time-managed meeting. Steve Rowland did an excellent job coordinating the questions from the respective fans groups for Ben and Brett to answer at the meeting, and Simon Sadler via the video link. All fans groups representatives were made to feel very important, and all questions were answered concisely and directly. No gagging clauses were put on any attendees, but for the sake of a few days, he'd rather it be announced properly." I have actually been on Blackpool FC have tweeted that the minutes are available, and you click on the link and they're not there. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if any of you have managed to get the minutes, but I haven't. He says season ticket prices will be announced early in the next week. They will include a new price break for 18 to 21-year-olds, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a great thing. I think we've got to encourage the youth to come in, and I think a deal for 18 to 21-year-olds is really, really good. Early bird will have a £10 increase per season ticket, which is about half the annual rate of inflation. So, maybe I'm being too critical on that. I don't know if what you think about that. £10 is not a lot, but do we want to encourage more people to get season tickets and build the fan base even stronger with a little bit of an incentive to get them in? Major projects, the training ground and East Stand are Simon Sadler and his board's main focus, which is good to hear. Simon Sadler is going to personally finance both with the hope of one day being paid back, which is very kind of him. So he's loaning the club with a hope that one day he gets it back, rather than taking it out with the view that one day he might loan it back to the club, which we had from the previous garbage owners. Training ground announcement expected within hours and days as opposed to weeks and months. That sounds encouraging. Hours and days. I can't wait to hear this. I think it's one thing that Blackpool fans have been waiting for so long. There's been so many promises on it. The East Stand plans are to be submitted for planning permission soon. Also incorporate the proposed Revo redevelopment plan. The £6.8 million grant already announced must be used by 2026 and 27, but Simon Sadler wants it done a lot earlier. I've also read that 6.8 million grant has nothing to do with building the thing. It's only to, what has somebody said there? Let me just say. It's worth pointing out the 6.8 million is purely for the purposes of assembling land and enabling the project. The stand itself and any club infrastructure cannot be built using that money. So it's all going to come out, and I reckon it's going to cost over £30 million. So Simon Sadler is going to be putting in over 30 million quid of his own money, which, maybe is a reason why we're not looking at spending too much money on players in the summer. Ben Mansford is working on some improvements to North Stand catering and away fans egress. This is awaiting council approval and licensing, but they hope to have them in place for next season. That would be good if they can sort out the away fans. It would make a big difference. All directors acknowledge the fantastic noisy support the team has had this season, and it has had some amazing support. We've been amazing, haven't we? We really have. Apart from anything else, Blackpool fans have come out of this it's some of the most amazing crowds I've ever been in, especially away from home. It's been unbelievable. It was acknowledged that now we have a more regular policing team and match day command, that policing has significantly improved at Bluefield Road. And it has. I have to agree, it has. And that is a good thing. They also discussed Preston and the debacle there, but I don't think I got a feeling that Preston are not very happy with us at the moment. But hey, what the heck? Steve Huntley wasn't going to mention Peterborough. No, you have to though. It was terrible. Ian Barron says, "Do you think there have been too many changes in the team since you won the playoffs last season?" I think for me, my dad would, be an advocate of this. Would say you don't change a winning team, and unfortunately for me, Critch has done a little too much of that this season, and it's cost us in a few games where he's messed around with a team when especially at QPR or away. We played really well, and he messed about with all the team, and we lost to 10 men, and I think there was I can't remember now, but when we played Derby away, we tinkered with the team there, and we didn't play the way I wanted us to play Derby. I thought we should have gone there to just destroy them, and we didn't. We passed around the back too much, as we have done quite a lot this season. It's not something I'm a great big fan of, if I'm being honest. All this passing around the back. Probably one of the reasons is I don't think we're very good at it at times. We get ourselves in a right mess with it at times, almost blooming get goals scored against us. And quite often we pass it around, then we actually hoof it up in the end and lose it. So I don't always think it works that well for us. I like the way that, I know you don't want to talk about Peterborough, but I actually like the way that Peterborough played against us. They just blooming attacked us, just came at us all the time, and that's what I like. I like it when Blackpool play that that way, when we're just attacking teams wave after wave. And I think when we play like that, I think we play really, really well. I think we've done, I think we've been amazing sometimes this season when we play that way, but we don't always play that way. For some unknown reason, but I think we are more attacking when we had Sterling and Gabriel in. We didn't do all the passing around. They do push the ball forward. Just going back to the comments. Rob C says, I think keeping Epiteta is bigger than buying anybody this window. A top quality centre back like him is extremely hard to replace, even harder than a tricky window. Yet we've got to keep Big Marv. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that? I totally agree, but I'm not sure if it's bigger than bringing anybody. I think we do need to bring people in, Rob. I really do. I think we are, we're short. I agree with that, Shane, totally. Keogh is being kept on to pass on his experience to the young ones. I think he is a big influence in the dressing room. He's a lot of fun, when you watch him in the the sofa chats and everything. He's really well liked. He's a really nice guy. I really like him, and he has been the experience in that defense, and I think we've learned a lot from him. And I think that's probably why we stayed up and Peterborough didn't, because we got that quality of knowledge in that, that quality defender in. Camille is here. Hello, Camille. Greetings from Turkey. Greetings to Turkey from Blackpool. Steve Huntley said, would you want to see Grimmy or Maxi in net next season? Well, I think the future is Grimmy, isn't he? I really do. Although I actually really like Chris Maxwell. I will put it on record. I do like him. I think his positioning is amazing. I think he was a bit unlucky at Peterborough, to be honest, because I think he pulled off some blooming wonder saves before they scored. And I think in the end, his defense just totally let him down. Where were they for some of those goals? It was unbelievable. Yeah, Thornley gets caught out with the ball over the top too much for me. Yeah, if we've kept Thornley on with, the main intent to actually sell him, then I don't really have a problem with that, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't miss him. I think he's all right. I don't think he's the greatest. I think he's all right. Gaming Wales says Critchley is a great manager. Hopefully we can keep him for many, many years to come. I doubt he will leave, though. I don't think he will leave either. There was a West Brom fan came in the chat on one of my videos saying, Critchley's going to West Brom. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's got a plan. I think he sees the future. And I think he's got something, he wants to do, set up this academy and all the rest of it. And I think he's in the right place to do all that. And I don't think he's going to stop until he's completed what he wants to do. Yeah, so Daz says if Everton go down, Sims could play for Everton. Well, yeah, there is that as well. Gaming Wales says, in terms of signings, I feel like we should just fine-tune the squad and not make too many big signings this summer and just save some money for January and onwards. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't think we need to make major changes. I think we've got the basics of a good squad. It just depends on who we lose. It just depends on who we lose in the summer. If, teams are coming in for our players, we will have to strengthen. I think definitely defensively we need to strengthen. And I agree. I think we need that. We need that attacking midfielder that we just don't have. I would love to see that. Jimmy Geaver says that Everton will be staying up. I think they may well. I think they will. They have the ability to get out of it year after year. Scotty Martin says, easy for him. It's Grimmy. Blimey, we've got 200 in the chat now. I was hoping this would be easy. I just came on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon thinking there'd be nobody here. But thanks a lot for joining us. 214 people in the chat. Make sure you like the video. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed, click that subscribe button. We're trying to beat Cod's Vlogs. We're going to get past Fleetwood on subscribers. It would be great. That would be the dream. At the moment, get him first. Then we can talk about getting past Thogden later on. Scotty Martin says we need chips and curry on the concourse. I think that would be very popular, Scotty. I'm all up for that. Ian Barron says, any updates on the tannoy system? I don't think it's a priority, but it should be. It is shocking at Blackpool. There are a few places we've been this year where their tannoy systems have been just like ridiculously loud, particularly Luton Town, which was just like, it was just stupidly loud. It was so loud, it was unbelievable. But it was clear, but it was just too loud. But there's been some really nice ones. The PA at Bournemouth was fantastic. The PA at Barnsley was really, really good. Those are two off the top of my head. The PA at Derby was just ridiculous. I mean, it was actually line arrays all the way around the stadium. So I don't know if you know what a line array is, but that's the speakers that, like boxes going down. You got the treble, mid-range, and bass, about 6 of them in a big long line. And they'd be, I don't know, 10,000-20,000 pounds a stack of line arrays, about that sort of price, and they had about 30 odd of them all the way. It was just ridiculous. It was totally over the top. But we need a proper PA, and one that's clear. And then it's sound is so important. I don't know why people don't understand it, but sound, to be able to hear it all, when they play some sort of music that you're coming out to, you can actually hear it as some sort of effect. It's music makes and sound just makes such a big difference. Paul Leaper says we will do better next season. At least we stayed up. Well, I think everybody was thinking that way up until the last few games where we got the stuffing knocked out of us a little bit, and people are a little bit worried that we're not going to do as well next season as we have done this season. But I think we will improve. I can only see Blackpool improving personally. Honestly, I can. Rob says, I agree we need to bring in people, but losing Marv will be massive. Well, yeah, no, absolutely. We can't lose Marv. He's been absolutely outstanding, and he was well deserving of his his Player of the Season award, both from the players and the fans. He was that good. Not only in defence, but for goals as well. I mean, he's almost one of our top scorers, so he's been incredible. Right. Jack Gorman. Hello, Jack. He says we should use Thornley as part of the Brannigan deal, as he was on loan at Oxford and the fans warmed to him. Yeah, well, that is the reason why we've retained him, because I'm sure we're going to be after blooming Brannigan, surely. Shane Benjamin. Hello, Shane. He says, as much as I love the team spirit, I think we are lacking an out-and-out goal poacher. We are. Absolutely, we are. We make goal scoring look like the hardest thing in the world. I've said it so many times. We've had the ball in the 6-yard box so many times this season. Yes, we have, and we haven't scored from it, have we? We do lack a genuine goal poacher, and it would be great, wouldn't it? I mean, you look at how many goals. What's he called now? That the guy from Fulham has scored. I know it's quality, but he's got about 40 odd goals. Just imagine if if we'd have had a player in our team this season that had scored 40 odd goals, we would have gone up. There's no doubt about it. It's such a massive amount of goals that. Gaming Well said it does depend on who we lose, whether we fine tune or make big signings. Well, yeah, it does depend. I think we miss Kenny Dougal, even though he does sometimes give the ball away. But I think we missed him at Peterborough, big style. I think he does a lot of work. I think he breaks down a lot of moves. I know he's not a forward playing midfielder, but he does put a shift in, and we do miss him. And he's one of my favourites, Kenny Dougal, I've got to say. JD Sherlock says we need better strength in depth. Obviously, Critch is trying to rotate players who can come in like for like. Need to work on fitness, though, as we lost points in too many games late on. Well, hopefully the players will start getting into paddle tennis, which I think you all should do as well. It looks absolutely fantastic. You may have seen the video I made with Stephen Riley of Foul Tennis. They've used us for our video services, which was very kind of them. And there's other companies that are going to be using it as well. You'll see that coming up. But yeah, really looking forward to that. But the paddle tennis looks amazing, and I'm going to be doing some fun videos with them that are going to be featured on the channel next season, which I won't tell you what's going to be happening, but it's going to be quite good fun with me playing paddle tennis against certain people, as maybe as a particular tennis player. Anyway, we need to use the European market more. I think there's a lot of good players in the lesser European leagues. Surely they would love to play in the Championship with an eye on the Premier eventually. But I kind of agree with you, but there's something always goes wrong with European players for us. They don't seem to settle well in Blackpool. I don't know why that is. I actually have often said when Valerie Bellicon came in, and Kasper's Gortz came in, I thought we were going to get, pretty much a conveyor belt of players coming in from Latvia. I didn't think we used that as much as we should have done, because I thought Kasper's Gortz was amazing. He was one that really did settle well at Blackpool, but for the most part, foreign players don't always do so well here. I don't know why that is. I don't know why it is. Whether it's just the cold wind, and maybe, I don't know, they don't like. Blimey, this is Ben Watkins says, would you take Charlie Adam as he is a free agent in the summer? Would we take Charlie Adam now? Is it just a couple of seasons too late? I would have liked him a couple of seasons ago. Still really like Charlie Adam, but I'm still sure he could do a job as an attacking midfielder. Yeah, Mitovic, is that from Fulham? Yep, putting me straight on that one. Yeah, that's what we could do with. Ian Barron says, yeah, 200 plus in the live stream. We have been missed, haven't we? Yeah, we can't do we can't do everything, man. We can't do go into every match. I mean, we've been to every game this season. It's been a hell of a journey. But I have missed the live streams. I've got to be honest. I've really missed them. I miss you guys. And it's good to see so many in. We're talking about, if you've just joined the stream, we're Blackpool. If you're thinking, what the hell is this? I've just clicked on. We're talking about Blackpool's retain list, and also there was last night a fans structured meeting. Is there anybody in the stream that was actually at the meeting? Could give us their thoughts on it. Have you read? Have you been on A View from the Tower and read Polton the Foul Seasiders' summary of it? Do you think it all sounds exciting? Are you a bit worried about the fact that we are announcing here, there, and everywhere? Critch is saying it. I think they said it last night that the priorities are the training ground and the stand, not recruitment this summer. Whereas everybody I was talking to after the Peterborough game was saying we need to invest in players. We really do. That was the feeling. It was joyful after outside the barge and everything, Charters, where everybody was. It was great, and it was, people were happy, but there was a very underlying theme that people were not happy that we hadn't tried to get above Preston, that we'd played this team with 5 kids on the bench and we just played terribly, and people were saying that we need to strengthen. We're not going to be good enough. That was the consensus there. Scotty Martin says, Ben Watkins, no thank you. Oliver McFeely is here. Massively need a backup right back. Can't be playing centre mids there for a half a season if Gabriel keeps picking up injuries. Well, yes, that is the thing, isn't it? I just hope that Jordan Gabriel, it has been a hamstring. I did speak to him after the Peterborough game, and he said it wasn't quite as bad as they, thought it was going to be. And he said that if we'd have been in the playoffs, he would have expected to play in the playoff final. He's that close, so I don't think he's that far away. But I think he is such a big player, that he plays so well in that, as a right back. He's such a good player that we haven't got anything quite like him. And I think when he's injured, we need somebody who is like him if we can. But where do you find Jordan Gabriel from? For me, he's one of the best players we've ever signed. When he's fit, I love him. I think he really is one of our best players. Russell C says that Charlie Adam can't run the length of himself at Dundee now. Yeah, probably. JD Sherlock says, yeah, he's moving back to Poland, but he's too old now. I think probably he is really for Championship football. I think even he'd admit he's a bit past it now for that. Oh, Ian Barron fills us in on Darlington FC. Darlington FC have signed David Wheater, the old Middlesbrough and Bolton Premiership defender. There's a lot of people now in the stream. 250 people in the stream. Are you all Blackpool fans? Give me a thumbs up if you're Blackpool fans, or let me know which club you follow if you are in the stream wondering what the heck you are watching, because we are discussing Blackpool and our retain list, and also there was a meeting last night with the fans where the directors have very kindly answered all our questions as to what is going on, whether we're going to be building this training ground that still hasn't quite materialized. They've been promising it, announcements. I think at Christmas they were saying, announcements are just around the corner, and we're now almost in June and we still haven't heard. But apparently I heard there's about one signature left to finish it, and then they're going to announce it, so it's going to be any day soon. I think that's great news for Blackpool. I really do. Gaming Whale is Blackpool. Thanks for that. Anybody else? Let me know which club you support if you're in the stream. If you're Blackpool, give me a thumbs up. If you're Blackpool, just put a thumbs up in the comments so I know everybody's here, and we're talking mainly to Blackpool fans. Also, I've been talking, if you've just joined the stream now, I've been talking about Critchley saying that we're getting better at scoring, and we scored more goals in the second half of the season than we did in the first half of the season. But I would counter that with the fact that there was two anomalies in the second half of the season. One where we beat Birmingham City 6-1, which I don't know where that came from, and also that we beat Reading, who were very poor on the day, 4-1. And if those two games were taken out of it, I don't think we would have scored more in the first half of the season. And I've been saying it in video after video after video at the end of games that Blackpool have made scoring goals look like the hardest thing in the world. And teams just come down and they just score a goal as if it's just like taking sweets off a kid in the park. And I just don't think that we are that good at scoring. And I think something needs to be done about it. Russell, hi Russell, you are a Scottish Seasider since 2003 and an Ayr United fan. Is there anyone from Ayr United you think could do a job for Blackpool? Because I don't know much about Ayr United. Don Smith is here, Blackpool fan. Hi Don. Ben Watkins gives me a thumbs up. He is also a Blackpool fan in the stream. Shane Benjamin, Blackpool. Mitch says, keep up the great work, mate. Up the Neil Critchley. Do you have opinion on Watford tapping up Forest Green manager? I can understand why he's being tapped up. He's done a good job with Forest Green, hasn't he? Wouldn't surprise me if, clubs are looking at him. It wouldn't surprise me if clubs are looking at Critchley as well. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't think Critchley's going anywhere. I think he's signed this 4.5-year extension to complete a project, and I think his project is the academy, and I think he's going to see that through. I can't see him walking away right now, and he kind of, he's in love with the fans, isn't he? And there is that connect. I remember watching a YouTuber, the Stoke City YouTuber, at the end of the game, he'd film a bit where Critchley's doing it. Yeah. He's saying that is a manager who is in tune with the fans, and the fans are in tune with him. And I think, you can read lots of things on the message boards. People don't like him, but talking to most people, most fans out there love him, and I love him. I've got to say, I really do. I think he has the potential to be one of the best managers we've ever had. I think he still tinkers a little bit too much with it for me. I don't like, I like a manager that keeps a winning team, and and I sometimes think we overthink things and we set up, to counteract the opposition rather than just playing our game and taking it to them. I kind of prefer that way of playing, but I'm not an expert manager and I don't profess to be. And for me, he's doing a great job, and in Critch I trust. Steve Huntley gives me a thumbs up. He's a Blackpool fan. We've got 260 in now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're Blackpool fans. If you're not, we're talking about Blackpool, so sorry to bore you. We don't know much about anything else but Blackpool here on this channel. We are kind of Blackpool focused. We've got blinkers on with regard to Blackpool here. That's all we kind of see. Ben Watkins says, what do you think about Tom Barcusen and getting released from Preston? Well, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because he was doing really, really, really well for Preston. And I always think, God, why did we get rid of him? Why did we let him go? Why have Preston picked him up? Why has he been so prolific there? Why hasn't he stayed with us? He's a Blackpool lad and a Blackpool fan, and his dad's Blackpool and everything else. And yet he hasn't really featured for this season, and I don't know why. Derek Nichols says, all right, Derek, controversially, I am sorry, but I think we should sell Jerry Yates and bring in someone who can score goals. Unfortunately, he can't do it at championship level. Well, it has looked very much like he can't do it at championship level, but I think, and I don't know whether you all agree with me about this, but it's like, for me, strikers need like long runs in the team, and they get better and they get confident and they get goals. And he's been dropped and subbed and come on for 10 minutes in loads and loads of games, and I don't think that did his confidence any good whatsoever. I really don't. I think he's a confidence player. I think he's really loved around the dressing room. I think he's like great fun, isn't he? And they all like him, and I think he creates a great buzz around the atmosphere. I think he's valuable for that, and I actually think his work rate is phenomenal, but his confidence has gone, hasn't it, in front of goals. Whether he needs loaning out to like a League One team to get his confidence back and bring him back, because I love him, honestly, I really do. And whether he needs a spell just with the pressure off him to get his confidence back, I don't know, but I like him, and I tend to try and think how I believe he'll come good. I do believe he'll come good. Ben H says, yeah, true. We don't play our own game. We're very pragmatic to grind out results, but I think we'll start playing our own game next season. I hope we do. I hope we do, because I think when we play, the way we play, and we play attacking football, and when we go at teams and we close them down and we break things up and we're aggressive and in your face, I think we're really hard to beat. I think we're a hard to beat team when we play that way. And I'm just, I'll hark back to the QPR game when they were down to 10 men, the second half. What was it? I had words. The Peterborough game was bad. It was just ridiculously bad. And I think that was just, I can't explain why it was so bad. We, obviously he made loads of changes. No Kenny Dougal. There was, he brought back Sonny Carey, who hadn't played, he hadn't played since Boxing Day at Huddersfield, and Kevin Stewart had been injured, and we were just, I don't know, we just weren't the team that we are. And I think that's just an anomaly. But QPR away, oh my God, that second half, 1-0 down against 10 men, and we didn't go out of our own half for about 40 minutes of 45. It was just for me that was the worst. But yes, Christopher Heaney, just to put me back in the place. What a season we have had back in the Championship. Well, we have, Chris. We have. We could have done better. We could have done better, and it was looking like it was going to be better. At one stage, it really did look like we were going to get in the playoffs. I was convinced of it. I've said earlier on, if you were on the stream, I do think the losing Gabriel and Sterling, for the run-in cost us, because I thought when they were playing together, I thought we looked really, really superb. And I think we would have got in the playoffs, to be honest. I think that cost us. But yeah, it's been a great season back in the Championship. We haven't embarrassed ourselves. We're the bookies' favourites to go down. We're nowhere near going down. We were safe weeks and weeks ago. but we just seem to have taken our foot off the pedal. And I don't know whether the club let out a collective sigh of relief that they'd done it and they were safe, but since then we haven't been quite as good as we were. But it has been a great season. I can't disagree with you. Don Smith says Critch is already one of the best managers we've ever had, and I think he will improve. Well, he does, doesn't he? He does nothing but talk about all the time in wanting to improve things. He's always wanting to improve himself, wanting to develop players, and I think it all bodes well. Yeah, I think it really does. I really do. And I think he gets on very well with Simon Sadler. I think they have a good relationship. I think Simon likes him, and I think that's great. And I think, I think Simon Sadler as well, I've got a lot of praise for him as well, because he's been absolutely amazing. He is like the complete polar opposite to what we had before. And I like the fact that with Simon Sadler, things annoy him that annoy me, and he puts them right, things that I would put right, bits of rust, he sees all the things that I see. I just wish he could see that PA system as being a problem, because I hate it. Ian Barron says maybe the players are trying too hard in front of goal. Just go back to basics. Maybe that's the reason, Ian. It could well be the reason. Yeah, the Blackpool way, attack, attack, attack. Well, that's how Peterborough played. They were attack, attack, attack. That's how they played. That's how I like to see football. Like, take it to them, close them down, break them down. Intercept, be on top of them. Don't give them any space. Just be at them. That's what I like. That's what I like to see anyway. I really, and I've got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of all this backside, back to the goalkeeper, get into trouble, hoof it. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like the way we do it. There's just something about it that just, it's not for me. I understand getting possession of the ball and stuff, but if you'd have been at QPR, honestly, you'd have been pulling your hair out as much as I was. It was just unbelievably bad. The Peterborough game was just a stain on a mostly good season. Yeah, it was. It was just a one-off, wasn't it? You can't say that's how we were, because it was nothing. It wasn't the Blackpool side. I don't know why Peterborough were so fired up for it. I mean, I'd spoken to Peterborough fans. We went to a museum in the morning, a railway place, which you'll see when I do the football tourist guide. Now, I was talking to fans there, quite a few Peterborough fans there, and they're all saying, well, it's nothing game, this, we're down, we're not really bothered about it, we don't care. And when we went there, they cared like we should have cared. It was just ridiculous. Apparently, the players wanted to give the fans something to cheer about, and they were damn well determined to play really well. And I'm thinking, why weren't we determined to play really, really well? Ryan Dunmer says, I haven't said it in the comments, so I'll say it here, but the girl that gives halftime thoughts at games, very, very knowledgeable about the game, knows her stuff. Oh yes, Ashley. Yeah, she is quite incredible, isn't she? She's always there. She's been to, I think she's missed 4 games all season. And it's good to see, it's good to see so many fans. We've been to all the games, and we've seen, the same faces at just about every game. Loads and loads of people have been to just about every game, and the noise that Blackpool fans have created away from home has just been unbelievable. It's been beyond description. In fact, if you've only seen the videos and you've not been away, and you've kind of trying to get this, the volume of it from my videos, I just don't do it as justice as it is, because it is deafening. It's unbelievable. Mitch says, is the summer simply about recruitment, and does Critchley cutting his teeth with a fantastic recruitment team at LFC bode well? I don't think it's simply about recruitment. I don't think that at all. I think it's keeping hold of players as well. I think it's about finding the right players. I think Critchley has a vast knowledge of players. I mean, the players we do pick up. I mean, the thing about Blackpool, and we do it every season, and no doubt we'll do it this season, but we do pick up players that are just free, from nowhere. I mean, Josh Bowler, where did he come? How did he suddenly appear at Blackpool? I'd never heard of Josh Bowler in my life. Suddenly we signed this lad who's on a free release from Everton, and he's absolute world beater. So I'm sure he will have been known to Critchley. He will have either played against him with his teams, he'll have seen him, and he will have known he was a good player. And I imagine that's one of the reasons why we got him, because Critch will have known him. And I think Critch We'll know loads of players like Josh Bowler who don't make it or look promising, or he could coach them into something good. I think he has that knowledge. I think that's great. This new guy that we've brought in from, where did we bring him in from? Was he from Arsenal? This second in command. He also knows quite a lot as well. I'm surprised we don't have more of a connection with Liverpool, really. And we don't get more loans from Liverpool. You'd think there'd be. I kind of thought there'd be more Liverpool players. We haven't. We've only had the one so far, haven't we? As far as I know, from Liverpool, but most have been from. We've had Chelsea, Arsenal, but not Liverpool. But you don't know how. Chris is well known in the game, so you don't know who his connections are. But I can see more good loan players coming in this summer again. Any guesses for signings this summer? Says Ben. Well, not really guesses. No, I mean I have heard of, obviously, this midfielder from Forest Green was rumoured, but that hasn't come off, has it? And Brannigan, obviously, Oxford, we've been after him for 2 transfer windows. So surely we're going to be back in for him. We've got to be, haven't we? Surely we must be. We've been after him for ages. We've been after him for over a year. So I'll be surprised if we don't go back in for him. Put me out. Ryan Dunbar says, just watch Rangers European run this season. That's football. Well, it is quite amazing. I've got to say, you're doing very, very well, and you keep losing away from home and winning at home. So it's been quite an amazing run for Rangers, I've got to say. Mick Beardall says, we missed King Kenny on Saturday. He is so underrated, a very good player, in my opinion. He's not underrated by me, Mick. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I do, honestly. I think he puts a real shift in. He breaks up play. It's been a bit disappointing not scoring so many goals after his 1-2 at Wembley. I thought he might be confident to have a pop a few times, but he hasn't. But whether that's an instruction from Critch, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, Kenny Dougal, I think he's been affected by his travelling to Australia a few times and not actually getting selected, which has been a shame, because I think I would have liked to seen him play for Australia. I think he can do a good job, but he's gone over and he's not really featured, which I think maybe messed a little bit with his head a few times. Russell C says, I don't get fans complaining about where we finished in the league. I don't think anybody is, apart from the fact the main thing we're complaining about is that we didn't finish above the knobbers, and we should have done, shouldn't we? Do you not think we should have done? We blew it, didn't we, really, on that? That's the only thing I'm complaining about, but can't complain about, being bookies' favourites to go down and, achieving safety so early, so many weeks to go. It's just a shame that it all just fizzled out at the end. I think that's the thing, Russell, just the fizzling out and not playing Bowler and playing that team at Peterborough that just, a lot of fans paid good money to go to Peterborough. If you've travelled down to Peterborough, stayed over, there's one guy there, took 3 boys with him. It'll cost him 300 or 400 quid to go and watch that performance. It was disappointing. I think that's, I think that's the main thing. But you remember a few years ago being at Fleetwood and getting sent down to League Two while Oyston watched on grinning. Yeah, God, I mean, don't remind us, Russell. It was terrible. We all know it was terrible. I think Blackpool's a much happier place now, without the spectre of the Oystons, being over, everything. Even your successes, you didn't kind of really enjoy them as much as you should have, because you knew that they were pocketing all the money and all the rest of it. They were just scumbags, weren't they? They really were. They were horrible, lying. I always say, they were thieves, and they were thieves of dreams. They stole your dreams, is what they did. There was no hope. You couldn't dream. You couldn't dream of meeting Man United in the 4th round of the FA Cup and getting all the money, because you knew it would just not be spent. And all the pre-let garbage we used to listen to from Carl Oyston, when he's never going to build this South Stand. It's all pre-let. Who's going to pre-let in a stand that may or may never ever get built? It was just another garbage thing that they used to come out with. It just annoyed me so much. Would Keith Southern have recommended Bowler? Maybe he would have done. Yes, maybe. Ryan Dunbar says, we're the best fans in the Championship League. The game I was at was incredible. Yeah, we are. Honestly, we've been to every ground this season. I've been to all of them, and I can assure you that there's 1 or 2 of them that made a bit of noise. Coventry made a bit of noise, but nothing like they didn't carry it on like the whole game like we do. Middlesbrough weren't so bad until we were winning, and then they went very quiet. But for most of the other grounds we've been at, you don't even hear that. Honestly, it is. When you say it's just like a library, it has been so quiet. Sheffield United never didn't. You couldn't hear a pin drop. Swansea was surprisingly quiet. Even Cardiff was quite quiet, and I was expecting them to be really, really loud. Forest were like incredibly loud when they sang City of Mine to the Mull of Kintyre song. It was like a bomb going off when they scored. It was like the loudest noise I've ever heard. When they scored, it was unbelievable. For the rest of the game, you never heard them. They were as quiet as a mouse. They were terrible. There was not one single ground in the Championship anything like Bloomfield Road, not rocking like Bloomfield Road. And I don't think if Derby had have had that game, if it had been at any other ground and they'd have gone for the last sort of celebration in fancy dress and they'd have been going anywhere else, they wouldn't have had the day they had with the Blackpool fans, because we were just amazing. And that video that I made, the EFL video, I hope it does get shared out, and I hope football fans from all over the world see it and see something, because there's no way that Sky Football or BBC or whatever would actually show two sets of football fans being amazing, singing together, having a lot of fun and banter. They're not interested in that. If we'd have been fighting each other and invading the pitch and all the rest of it, it'd have been all over the news. But when it's good stuff like that, they just don't show it. So I hope people show that video and show people that, the message in the video is that we're all football fans together, and whether the Derby or whether the Blackpool or whether the Reading or whether well, maybe not the Nobbers, Blackburn, but all the other, every team, football fans are all the same, and we're all just, we're at the hands of our owners, and there's nothing we can do about it. And the ones that get punished are the football fans. And even though they're punished, and even though they've done everything they could to stay up, and they battled so well, and they got more points than they needed to stay up, they would have stayed up without the points deduction. They're going down, and they still came along, 4,000 of them, and they had a party, and every credit to them. And that's the message of the video. It's not whether it's right or wrong. Derby got a points deduction and all that sort of stuff. I understand. I think even the Derby fans understand that what they did was cheating and they got punished. But it's unfortunately it's the fans that get punished, and the fans haven't done anything wrong. The fans haven't overspent. The fans haven't bought players. The fans haven't cheated. The fans have just got the hard-earned money that's, just normal working people, and they just go and give everything they can to the club they love year after year, and they've been shafted, haven't they? Just like we were and we were shafted by the EFL. We had owners that were taking all the money out of the club, and you could see they were taking it all out, and there was nothing, all the money, the £96 million, all of it was going out, and we were complaining about it, and the EFL just stood by. They ignored letters and protests and all the rest of it. They just ignored it, and it took a High Court judge and Valerie Bellicon to get justice served. The EFL would have done absolutely nothing, and if it hadn't been for Valerie Bellicon and that court case, we would now be watching non-league football, because that is, the EFL stink. They're not fit for purpose, and that's my point of the video. So anyway, sorry to rant about that, because we're not on about that today. Yeah, Derby home fans were good. Yeah, Jack, they were, but they were good, but not like Bloomfield Road. They might be good, but they're not a patch on what we're like at Bloomfield Road. Russell C says that, what's your opinion on the parachute payments received coming down from the Premiership League? I don't know, really, to be honest. It's a funny one, isn't it? I quite like getting them. When you came down, it was good for the club, but we never got to see it. But I was thinking, we've got this money and we can do it, but we never did. But it doesn't seem to me, the whole money that the Premier League get is pointless, because whatever they get, it's never enough. They can give him, they're getting 115 million every year. Well, they spend that on one player, don't they? Just like one player. We just spend all that on one player, 115 million. If they put it up to 500 million, we'd just play 500 million for one player. All the players would go up. If it was a billion, 100,000 million, the players would then be 100,000 million. He just never, ever stops. Whatever they make, the money that they give him, they just spend it on players that just go up and up and up in price, and the wages and all the rest of it. It's pointless. Because they just spend more than what they get anyway. So the whole Premier League money just doesn't make any. It's just given to idiots that just can't spend it fast enough, and all of it just is annoying. Do you think the grounds don't help with the atmosphere? In what way? Just because they're not standing now or something, or just seated? I mean, we make a hell of a lot of noise at Bloomfield Road, and there's only 11,000 of us, and we make a sound like 40,000. It's quite incredible. So I think it's just down to, I'm not quite sure what it is down to, but honestly, the atmospheres at every ground this season have been nothing like Bloomfield Road. It is like no other club. It is unbelievable. Gaming Whale says financial fair play is good, but the owner should be punished, not the fans. I agree. It is the fans that, well, the owner does get punished, but the fans ultimately get punished more than anybody. And it's like I was saying, it's not the fault of the fans. No fan, whether it be Bury or Blackpool or Reading or anybody that gets points deduction, it's nothing to do with the fans, but it's the fans that suffer, and it's the fans that are just like us. Every fan of every club, apart from those that, plastic fans, whatever, but like genuine football fans who follow their local team and are taken along by their mums or dads or whatever when they're little, and they go all the life, and the whole life is about their little club. And we see, every football club has a few successes, but mainly it's years and years of just nothing. But we go and we believe and we give our money, and those Derby fans are just like us, and it could be any club. Derby this time, but there's more clubs that are in as much trouble as Derby, I think, and there'll be other fans that are going to be punished, and it's just the people just like us. We are one football family. We're all the same. We all just have the same dreams. We all follow the same thing, and I just think it's so sad that fans get punished. And when you watch that video and you see those Derby fans, you can see that they're just genuine fans, and Blackpool have a friendship with Derby, because we all know that when we were protesting against the Oysters, they came along in the game they're playing us, and they stood with us and sang with us, and we've never forgotten it, have we? So it was a pleasure to give it them back. Eddie Mansfield says, hopefully things will change next season for the better. The last game of the season was disastrous. Yes, it was. Let's see some more attacking football. Couldn't agree more. You don't win matches by playing defensive all the time. No, you don't. I totally agree with you there. I want to see more attacking football. By the way, there's 252 people in, but only 11 likes. What is going on with you all? Come on, give the video. If you're in here, give it a like, because YouTube likes all that stuff. Helps the channel. Just click that little like button. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, then please do. We've got 275 in now with 11 likes. Come on, we need some more likes. Ryan, get on it in the chat. Tell people to blooming like the video. That's what we need. Gaming Whale said the fans do get punished a lot alongside the owners, even though a lot of the time the fans can't do anything about it apart from protest and boycott. Well, that's exactly, there's nothing the fans can do. All fans can do is do their best to cheer the team on and put the money in and just go and support them. And those Derby fans have cheered them on and against all odds, and they've given everything. The team's given everything. They've played with an embargo on players. They've had kids in the team. Wayne Rooney's done amazing, but the points deduction was just too much, and they've gone down. But it's not the fans. The fans have been punished, and they, in a way, you wanted them to kind of stay up and do it, didn't you? Against all odds. For those fans that have cheered them on, and I just think that video shows you exactly what those Derby fans were about, and they were absolutely brilliant, and they didn't deserve to go down, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. As fans, they didn't, but cheating as the fact that they've broken rules and stuff, fair enough. But actually, as fans, they didn't deserve it. Ian Barron will fill us in. He's a Darlington FC fan, and you were made bankrupt in 2011. You reformed in 2012. You were demoted 4 leagues, and you're currently a fan-owned National League North club. We have had promotions today. Well, obviously, we know you've been through the mill as well, Ian. You have been through hell and back. George Reynolds did you no favours at all, did he? It's a shame, because he kind of built a beautiful stadium, but it was just too big, and it just caused too much. But no Darlington fans did anything wrong, did they? Now, Ian Barron says, and this is encouraging, the Darlington fans have put in over £2 million since we were reformed in 2012 to keep the club running. Well, that is quite amazing, Ian. And I always say that football is about winning, and if I'm being honest, it doesn't matter too much which division you're in, as long as you're winning. It's like we were in the Premier League, and I remember, we played Arsenal and Chelsea, and we got smashed by them away from home. I think 6-0 at Arsenal, and Blackpool fans were singing, "We're going to win 7-6" and all this. But you didn't go to that game and think, "Oh well, I'm happy I lost because I got to watch Arsenal and it was fantastic." No, you were sick. It was sick. It was bad getting beat by Arsenal as it is getting beat by Crewe, and it's as satisfying beating Liverpool. And beating Liverpool is amazing, but it's just as good to beat Nottingham Forest or if you're in a division below and beat Peterborough, or in a division below that and beat Rochdale or whatever. Winning is winning and losing is losing. It doesn't matter. And as long as you're up near the top and winning, you're happy and your weekends are good. Losing football matches ruins my weekends loads of times. It puts me on a right downer. And when I lost to Arsenal and Chelsea and all those teams in the Premier League, I was still on the same sort of down I'm always on. It didn't matter that I'd lost to Chelsea or Arsenal or Man United or whatever. It was still as bad. I still hated it. Gaming Wales says, we always seem to play bad on the last game of the season, apart from when it's the playoff final. Half the time, yeah, we do seem to play bad then, and we also seem to play bad at Christmas. Hopefully this year it will be different, but I hate the Christmas period. Ian Barron's liked, thank you very much, but that's just you. That's 12 now we've got, so we've gone from 11 to 12. Surely out of 243 people we can get more than, maybe there's 240, maybe 230 people are not enjoying it. Put the site anyway. I don't know, but honestly, likes are really important for the channel, for YouTube algorithm or whatever they call it, and YouTube channel, and promote it out if you get more likes. So it's important. John Haslam says, Lee, do you know the truth behind leaving Bowler out of the last 3 games plus on the bench before? Can't believe Critch. Fatigue reason for me, he's on his way. Truth would be nice. Well, I suppose that they're keeping the cards close to the chest. I don't know. John, is a simple answer. I don't know the truth. I can only see it as you see it, and I see it exactly as you see it, what you're saying there. It seems to me that he's been rested with a view to the fact he's going, and they didn't want to get him injured, and they didn't want to be an injury because he's worth 5 million or whatever he's going to be going for, and they need that money to strengthen the squad. So they put him on ice, and I think that was a shame that he didn't get to play in the last game at home and get a big, to get the standing ovation he should have got, which he hasn't got. I know Jane was really upset she didn't get to see him play for one last time, because she absolutely loved him from the day, we saw him at Southport. She fell in love with him. She fell in love with him on that day at Southport. Absolutely. And she's been in love with him all season. She feels like, you'll hear her say she's waited 30 years of her life to see a player like Josh Bowler, and it'll be sad, for her that he goes, but we just hope he goes on to good things if he does go. Michael Preston says, I think he wouldn't sign a new deal, and there's a gentleman's agreement in place. My guess, Forest, but no idea. If he goes to Forest and Forest don't get up, we need shooting. I do not want to see Josh Bowler playing against Blackpool for Forest. I just don't want to see it. I want him to go, if he's going, I want him to go to Fulham and go and play in the Premier League, test himself against the best players, and I don't mind seeing him in a Premier League team, but I don't want to see him in a Championship team playing against us, because that will just totally pee me off. And I definitely don't want him to go to Forest, because they offered £1 million for him in the first place, whatever they offered. They offered 100,000 for him at first, which was just a disgrace. So on that basis alone, I don't want him to go to Forest. Right, I think that's it. Has anybody got any thoughts, or have you seen, before we go, the structured meeting? It seems, from what I'm reading between the lines, that the club are concentrating on getting the training ground up and running and moving on with finishing the ground off. And that's their main priority, more than spending fortunes in the transfer window. Are we happy with that? Are we happy with the £10 increase that they are going to announce on season tickets? Do you think that's a good move? Are you happy as well that they're doing a special deal for 18 to 21-year-olds, which I think is really, really important? I think they are the future of Blackpool Football Club, and I think you want to get as many of them in as you can. They make lots of noise. They don't have all the hang-ups that some of us older fans who've lived with the Oysters for a long time, they haven't lived that life. Everything is kind of joyful for them, the way Blackpool are going, the players they're seeing, the fact we're in the Championship, it's all kind of joy for anybody who sort of, under 20, doesn't really remember much about the Oysters. I think that's a good thing. Russell C says, cheers, Lee. Have a good off season. Well, we will be doing certain things. I might do more of these if you like these kind of things. We can chat about these. Jay's at work today, so I should be editing actually the Football Tourist guy, but I just wanted to have a chat with you guys and thought I would do it. So if you like this kind of thing, if you want to chat about things, let me know in the comments. If you want more of these chat-alongs, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. There's going to be obviously there's going to be hopefully some signings coming in the summer. There's going to be news on the training ground really soon. We'll have a chat about that when that comes through. See what we all think about that. There's going to be the fixtures will be coming out soon, so we'll see when and where we're playing certain clubs. We can have a chat about that. And apart from that, we can chat about anything we want, really, can't we? Gaming Whale says, I will look forward to your next live stream video. Is there anyone you want to play in particular pre-season? Well, I've heard, I'm not sure if it's right, but I think we're going to be having a pre-season tour of Scotland, which would be quite interesting because I've never been up to watch Scottish football. So Ryan will be pleased if we're up there. So that could be quite interesting. I don't mind doing that. It would be good to see some good teams play here pre-season. And we will be going again to every game. It's another commitment we're going to do. It's cost us a lot of money this year to do it, but we're going to do it. Hopefully, got some news on some sponsorship deals, and also we've got there is a super chat here. You can super chat, and there's also now a thanks button underneath the videos as well. If you want to give us a couple of quid or whatever, that will all help towards the cost of everything next year. Michael Preston thinks £10 is fair after the season ticket we had. Training ground is a priority because we need to be able to properly develop our new players. Totally agree with you on that. Absolutely. And somebody was saying that I think the season ticket, even with a £10 increase, works out about £15 a game, which is not bad. It's not a bad deal. Gaming Well says he heard about a pre-season tour, but doesn't know where. I did hear. I don't know if it's true. I might have read it on a View from the Tower, but there is rumours it's going to be in Scotland, which would be good because you're all right going to Scotland in the summer when it's not too cold. I kind of agree with you, Ian, on that one. Barkhuizen leaving the Nobbers on a free, and I think he'd be great. He's a Blackpool lad. He's a good player. He was playing really, really well for Preston. I don't know why. I don't know why he's not featured so much this season for them. I don't know. I think that's it. Anybody else got any thoughts on this fans structured dialogue meeting before we go? If not, I will see you all soon. We will have another one of these. We'll definitely do another one because I can't believe how many people have actually been in and so hello. Anyway, thanks if you give the video a like, and thanks also if you subscribe to the channel while you were here. That's very, very, very pleasing to see. Michael Preston, lots of injuries, has he? Oh, we don't want another one of them then, do we? That's something we don't really want, do we? Another player with a lot of injuries. We've got enough of them, haven't we? So maybe that's why they've let him go, have they? Because he's a bit injury prone. Well, maybe we don't want to be looking at him. Right, folks, I'm going to get off. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm surprised, actually, as I said, it was a 1 o'clock start. I thought I'd break myself in gently into a live stream, thinking there would be only about 10 or 12 people here, but we've had up to like 300 at one time, so that's quite amazing. I'm going to get off. And I will see you guys really soon. Thanks a lot for following us and supporting us throughout the season. And I need to go to I need to go. There we go. Thank you very much. See you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Bye. Well, we're always here for an Avengers ending, you know. Still here. Anybody who knows at my show, we know we're here for one more thing. I think it's final thoughts are. I think Blackpool are only going to get better. That's the way I see it. I think we're looking to improve in everything from the stadium to the training ground to the players. And I think it's something that's not going to happen overnight. I think it's going to be a gradual build. I'm really happy we're in the Championship. I don't really care if we get in the Premier League ever again, apart from just to get that one season's money that I think, that we didn't get out of the Oystons. I would like to see us get that legacy and see it really invested in Blackpool for generations to come. That's my kind of dream with it. Apart from that, you can stuff the Premier League. I didn't even enjoy it, if I'm being honest, half the time. They were moving games around. The referees were terrible. Don't think I really like VAR. I'm not sure about VAR. There's a lot of complaints about it. I don't want to be jumping up and down or not being able to jump up and down because I don't know if the goal's going to be allowed or disallowed and all that. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I'm happy in the Championship. I think it's a great league. I like the teams you play. I like the fact that you can beat anybody or anybody can beat on the day. I think it's just different to the Premier League where everything's just geared to the money. Even though the Championship is to some extent as well, but you can still beat the big clubs. We took 4 points off Fulham and they had all the parachute payments and everything. So it is possible to do. And I like it where we are. I like the manager. I like the players. I've fallen in love with loads of these players. I don't think there's one player that I don't like. I like them all of them. I've fallen in love with them. I'm glad to be back watching Blackpool, and I'm sure you are as well. I'm going to get off. That's it. I think the structured dialogue sounds exciting. I'm hoping that we hear about the training ground really soon because it seems to have just gone on forever and ever about a training ground. So when that news comes out and that starts getting built, then I think we're definitely on the way back. I want to see young kids coming through. I was a bit disappointed at Peterborough that the young kids had to come on when we were losing 3-0 rather than coming on when we were winning 3-0. I thought Jake Daniels looked exciting when he came on. I think he's going to be one for the future. I've seen him play. He was playing for Seb's football team when he was playing for Leighton, and he was an absolute awesome player. And I said he's going to be something special. And I think you'll love him when he makes his breakthrough into the first team. I think he's the kind of player that we will like. He just goes at them. He doesn't know anything else but attack. And I like that in a player. Thanks a lot. There's no more comments in. I don't think anybody. I'll wait a minute if anybody wants to say any last things, and then I'll get off because there's nobody else commenting. And I think we've said it all for now. We're pretty happy with the retain list. No surprises on the ones they've let go. I think I agree with you. I think Bowler and Thornley have just been offered an extra extension, so we get some money out of them when we sell them. I think that's it. But no, there's no more comments. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to get off. Thanks for watching, and thanks for liking and subscribing. And we'll see you soon. And we will be back for more of these, definitely, because it's good fun chatting to you all. Thanks a lot. See you later. Bye.